Michael Bublé and Shania Twain sang a bouncy version of White Christmas with fellow Canadian and the queen of country pop, Shania Twain. The two singers recorded a version of the holiday staple White Christmas together for the deluxe version of Bublé's album Christmas, and it's doubly delightful. White Christmas has been recorded dozens of times, but this version is especially stirring. The longing, the nostalgia, the hope, the cheer, it's just delightful. Shania Twain has the perfect voice for Christmas music, wrote one enthusiastic commenter on YouTube, while another added, "This song belongs in every holiday movie. It's that good." 2011, just before the duo released their rendition of White Christmas, Bublé described their version as bouncy, and he's right. "I wanted to make the quintessential Christmas record," Bublé said at the time about his Christmas album, For Taste of Country. "I wanted to make a record that would outlive me, and I wanted to do for people what Bing Crosby did for me. He introduced me to the world of jazz and melody. I didn't want to be hip or edgy. I just wanted to make a really sweet Christmas record that kids can grow up with." Who wrote the holiday song White Christmas? Irving Berlin wrote White Christmas, and it was first released in 1942. Berlin was raised Jewish and immigrated to America with his family in 1893, according to PBS. Berlin went on to write several classic American songs, including White Christmas and God Bless America. According to the Kennedy Center, Berlin once said about songwriting, "My ambition is to reach the heart of the average American, that vast intermediate crew which is the real soul of the country. My public is the real people." It's believed that Berlin wrote the tune in the late 1930s for a Broadway musical revue that never came together, but made the song eventually its way onto the big screen in the 1942 film Holiday Inn. Bing Crosby released it as a single that year after performing it on his radio show, and it became an almost immediate hit. Crosby also performed it, somewhat hesitantly, abroad during the war. "I sang it many times in Europe in the field for soldiers, and they'd holler for it. They'd demand it. When I'd sing it, they'd all cry," Crosby said per NPR. "It's nostalgic, and it's kind of poignant, particularly during the war years. So many young people were away, and they'd hear this song. And it would happen to be that time of the year, it would really affect them." Crosby sang it again for the 1954 film White Christmas, which is about, naturally, USO performers reuniting at Christmas time. It's gone on to become one of the most famous Christmas songs of all time. White Christmas is part of Michael Bublé's holiday traditions. Bublé told Entertainment Tonight that Crosby's White Christmas has been one of his holiday traditions for years. "Every year since I was about 6 or 7 years old, my playlist has and always will be Bing Crosby's White Christmas album," he said in 2024. Bublé is such a fan, he performed the Christmas song with Crosby during his 2012 NBC TV special Home for the Holidays. Thanks to a little CGI magic, Bublé was able to join Crosby, who passed away in 1977, on screen for a duet of White Christmas that wowed viewers at home. Michael Bublé and Shania Twain, two beloved Canadian icons, teamed up for an unforgettable performance that has left fans smiling ear to ear, a lively, bouncy version of the classic holiday tune, White Christmas. Their rendition was far from the typical dreamy and nostalgic version of the song. Instead, it was infused with fun, flair, and a rhythmic energy that made it feel brand new, while still maintaining the warmth and charm that White Christmas is known for. The stage was set for something special. As the lights dimmed, a winter wonderland appeared behind them, snowflakes twinkling, softly illuminated trees, and a shimmering backdrop that gave the room an inviting, magical glow. When the first notes of the piano began to play, it was clear that this wasn't going to be the slow, crooning version of White Christmas we're used to. There was a peppy, jazzy undercurrent to the arrangement, one that immediately put a spring in everyone's step. Michael Bublé, dressed in his signature dapper suit, started the first verse with his smooth, rich vocals. His voice, as always, was velvety and filled with emotion, but this time it had a distinct playfulness that mirrored the upbeat arrangement. The tempo was faster than usual, giving it a bounce that felt fresh. You could see Bublé sway lightly as he sang, his infectious energy radiating to the audience and his fellow musicians. Then Shania Twain made her grand entrance, and the crowd's excitement hit a new peak. Wearing a sparkling holiday dress that caught the light in all the right ways, she joined in with her own lively twist. Twain, known for her ability to blend country twang with pop appeal, brought her own signature vocal flair to the song. Her voice was bright and filled with a sense of fun, seamlessly complementing Bugle's classic croon. As they harmonized, their voices blended beautifully, each artist bringing their own style to the performance. What made their version of White Christmas stand out wasn't just the vocals, but the way they played with the rhythm. There was a swing to it, almost as if you could imagine it being performed in a retro jazz club, with couples dancing along to the beat. The jazzy piano riffs, the playful horns, and the light percussion gave the song a toe-tapping energy that was irresistible. This was no longer the wistful longing for snow on Christmas Day. It was a celebration, a moment of pure holiday joy. Buble and Twain exchanged glances throughout the performance, smiling and interacting in a way that showed just how much fun they were having with the song. At one point, they even threw in some playful choreography, swaying and stepping lightly in sync with the music. The audience, caught up in the festive spirit, couldn't help but clap along, fully immersed in the lively atmosphere. Midway through the song, the band took a brief instrumental break, giving the performance even more of that old-school swing vibe. The trumpets blasted out jazzy accents, while the piano danced through its chords with flair. Buble, always the showman, gave a quick nod to the band as if to say, "Let's kick it up a notch." And they did. Twain returned with a playful call and response with Buble, adding a little extra charm to the duet. Their voices bounced off each other with ease, like old friends sharing a private joke through song. You could tell that both artists were feeding off the crowd's energy and off each other, creating a chemistry that was electric and effortless. By the time they reached the final chorus, the song had built into a joyous crescendo. Instead of ending softly, like many versions of White Christmas, their version ended with a big, bold finish, a final swell of the instruments, and a high note from Twain that had the audience cheering. The applause was thunderous as the two singers grinned at each other, clearly pleased with how much fun they had just shared with everyone. This performance was a delightful reminder of the versatility of holiday classics. White Christmas, a song that has been covered countless times, was given new life through this upbeat, energetic version. Buble and Twain managed to honor the original while injecting it with their own personalities, making it feel fresh and exciting, a perfect reflection of their unique talents. For fans of both artists, it was a holiday treat they wouldn't soon forget. Bugle's crooning charm, combined with Twain's charismatic flair, created a version of White Christmas that had everyone feeling a little more festive, a little more lighthearted, and a lot more ready to celebrate the season. As they took their final bows, the audience knew they had witnessed something special. In a season full of traditions, this bouncy version of White Christmas was a refreshing reminder that sometimes a little fun and a little swing can make even the most familiar of songs feel like brand new gifts. For fans of both artists, it was a holiday treat they wouldn't soon forget. Bugle's crooning charm, combined with Twain's charismatic flair, created a version of White Christmas that had everyone feeling a little more festive, a little more lighthearted, and a lot more ready to celebrate the season. As they took their final bows, the audience knew they had witnessed something special. In a season full of traditions, this bouncy version of White Christmas was a refreshing reminder that sometimes a little fun and a little swing can make even the most familiar of songs feel like brand new gifts.